Here we go!
Hey, Blue Blurs, what's up? This is your proud Chief Gamer Blake 90 speaking, and welcome back to my playthrough series of Sonic 4, Episode 1. In this video, we are going through the last of the 4 main zones in the game, in a very short game at that, and that is the Mad Gear Zone, which is a close duplicate of the Metropolis Zone in more ways than one. You see, Sonic 2 sought to break away from the 3-act formula, that Sonic 1 once adopted, in favor of going to 2 acts per zone, and then when you got to Metropolis, it briefly resurrected the 3-act formula and became twice as tedious, not to mention annoying, and unfortunately Mad Gear falls closely in its footsteps, so I can excuse the 3-act formula because, for one, Sonic 4 Episode 1 is an incredibly short game, as is Episode 2, and every zone was already worth 3 acts, so I can overlook that. But what I can't overlook is how annoying this stage is gonna get. And Exhibit A as such. These lobster bandits. You gotta be very, very careful with how you time your homing attack against these guys, because the hitbox on that claw will activate at the most inconvenient times, and talk about inconvenient! That homing attack doesn't usually let me down, and it sent me flying right into a spike bed when I was trying to go after those speed shoes. Not that they're gonna help me all that much at a stage like this, because you really do have to stay on your toes, because though the hazards you're familiar with Metropolis will peek their heads out here once again, there are some new threats to contend with, like these air vents that could blow you into spike beds up on top like these right here. Actually no, this is just an open area, so no ceiling to worry about here. But previously, we came across ceilings that did in fact have spike beds like these. And also, we've got these crushers. What'd I tell you? I've flown to Metropolis. You really do need to watch yourself because those crushers are annoying. But there is always a certain rhythm to how they activate, so you'll definitely be able to circumvent these as long as you're familiar with how they function. Whew. I hesitated there, honestly, because if I'd been any slower, I would have been crushed to death by that third trap, and that would not have been fun. Luckily, I have plenty of lots to fall back on in the event that my playthrough of this stage starts to slack, but I don't think it will come to that. Okay, good. The claw's hitbox didn't decide to be sneaky. That's great. Okay, what is this? Alright, so in the instance of with this crusher right here, it actually serves as an elevator, so not all of them will lead to lethal results. You just have to be aware of your surroundings and pinpoint which ones are beneficial to you and which ones aren't. And I can definitely tell you an example of which crusher that will not be beneficial to you by any means. And it'll be the one waiting for you near the end of this third act. Oh my god. You know, this is what I don't get about those cricket badniks. Or, are they crickets? Actually, they look more like Caesar from the Pokemon series. Wannabe Caesars. Robotnik, do you watch Pokemon? But, yeah. Those Caesars that we're gonna call them from here on out, their blades don't go away if they've already been thrown before they get destroyed. So even after you destroy the badniks, you're gonna have to be very careful with how you proceed to maneuver afterward, because you could end up running right into them and losing your rings in the process. And oh boy, weren't we just talking about this earlier? But, fret not, I've got you. So for those of you that have been getting crushed repeatedly by that last section, here's how it will work. That last crusher I rode to get to the very top so I could position that homing attack throughout that hallway. You have to jump right before it heads back towards the ground so it doesn't take you down with it. That way you'll be airborne long enough to launch your homing attack. Oh shoot, I forgot to start the second act right away. But as long as you time your jump so that makeshift elevator doesn't take you back towards the ground, you can then time your homing attack so you start running immediately after those crushers retreat back to the ceiling. That way it'll give you a speed boost that should be efficient in helping you get across, get through that corridor rather, before the crushers take effect again and wind up killing you. So for those of you struggling how to get through there, because I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of gamers found that section very annoying, well, now you know how to make your experience a lot smoother. I don't think these rotating gears here will actually crush you because their hitboxes don't seem quite consistent enough for that. Either that or I managed to go 10 years without getting crushed here at all, but you know how the Let's Play curse works. First time for everything. Now, while I proceed to play through the second act of Mad Gear Zone, let me briefly apologize for how dry and repetitive my commentary became near the very end of a Lost Labyrinth video. I went back and watched it, and I took count of the painfully high number of times that I've been repeating certain phrases, like speaking of and thankfully, and it got very, very annoying for me to have to listen to. Yeah, if you haven't realized it by now, I am my own biggest critic, but then again, I think we all have that in common with one another, now don't we? But God, that got annoying even for me, so if it bothered any of you while you were watching me play Lost Labyrinth, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Generally, I do a lot of retakes of my commentary on my videos so that they don't wind up repetitive, but it appears some poor commentary managed to slip through the cracks in the armor. But anyway, that's a Mad Gear Act 2. Oh, look at this! You can ride these cogs along these lifts here, I guess we'll call them, to open up gates that you can then maneuver through so you can proceed further in the level. And look at that, we got elevators. These traps feel a lot smoother to navigate and honestly aren't as threatening, but when you get to the crushers and bandits like the lobsters and the Caesars, I'm going to be naming the lobsters the crabby Pokemon. What do y'all say about that? Yeah, there'll be a lot of Pokemon references. In fact, there was one I forgot to make when I was, showcasing Tails in Sonic Mega Mix Mania, when he was using the Tail Whip attack that was partly inspired by the Sonic Adventure 1 title. I forgot to call it a Pokemon reference, because Tail Whip is the name of an attack in the Pokemon games, so whoops. Lost opportunities, unfortunately. Now, here we have a fine example of why the game being so zoomed in while you're playing Sonic 4 Episode 1 is so freaking annoying. Because even when the Staryus, or Starmies, I think we'll go with Starmies, although I think they're a lot more similar to the color of Staryu. You know what, I'll just go with Starmie because I prefer it anyway. But when the Starmies explode off-screen, their projectiles will head out in all 5 directions, and even if they're off-screen, they'll still be ongoing, so you really do have to pay attention so that you don't get clipped. And speaking of getting clipped, Krabby, go away! I don't like you. Where's my Pokeballs when I need them? Yeah, let me stop. Actually, let me not stop. I'm having fun here, and I'm not ashamed of it in the slightest. Oh, and something I forgot to mention about those ball-shaped badges, either blue or red. The ones that are red will occasionally have spikes protruding from their body, so make sure to time your homing attacks appropriately, so, again, you don't end up getting clipped, or the results could be quite annoying. That's pretty easy to do, though, and it's all in the same rhythm as long as you're paying attention. Ah, no, I thought I avoided that! But there is a bit of good news to be had here. The blades will not stay in... Sorry about that. The blades thrown by the Caesar will not stay in effect forever. Eventually, they will lose all sense of motion and fall from mid-air. So, eventually they won't be such a threat to you anymore, but until then, avoid them for as long as you can, even after you've beaten their holders, so you have nothing to worry about. Now we got Act 2 taken care of. This video might honestly match the length of that of a Lost Labyrinth video, for how tedious it tends to feel. But at Act 3, I personally find it way less tedious and a lot more fun, if a little urgent, cause the return of the crushing wall gimmick is at hand. Not so much a gimmick as much as it is a threat itself, but you know what I mean. You dealt with it in Lost Labyrinth, and now you have to deal with it all over again, and you better pray for your own sake that you don't lose any speed along the way, because you will end up getting crushed. But yeah, honestly, Act 3, out of the 3 acts of Mad Gear, Act 3 is my most favorite out of all of them, because the soundtrack conveys a very, very urgent tone while you're playing through here, which is really awesome, and all around I just like it. And it's very rare, but you should hear me giving any form of compliments to the Sonic 4 soundtrack, but this would be one of those instances. Kind of like how you saw a rare instance where I gave a compliment for the background design of Lost Labyrinth, not so much the layout that we had to play through, but the background I thought was a particularly strong point of escape. Oh shoot, no, shoot. Oh god, no, this is not the time to be messing up. Let me focus right now. Okay, good. Well, the Crushers have certainly multiplied tenfold the high-speed sections. Robotnik is out for blood! And again, he's always out for blood, but he seems to get more and more maniacal with each game. Or is it just me? Alright, so... Wow, look at all these Pokemon! More Crushers. And even when I know how to maneuver through these easily, they always get me so nervous. Because the sight of Sonic getting crushed to death isn't like graphic, it just comes with a death sprite which just falls off the screen, so it's not exactly an unnerving sight, but the threat of getting crushed in itself does make me quite timid about navigating sections like that. Oh man. Also, if I have a commentary becoming way less repetitive in comparison to the Lost Labyrinth commentary, do let me know. I want to train myself to pay more attention to this sort of stuff. Uh-oh, uh-oh! Ah, no! Oh, well, thank you. You have to slow down for my sake? That's not very common coming from you, but I'll take it. But yeah, though I'm not, giving off the greatest demonstration of its benefits, the Air Dash will definitely be convenient for helping you make it through this unscathed, and I should have picked up that invincibility, and that would be why. I was about to say I might not really need it, and then, well, I went and proved myself wrong. Also, I didn't go into detail about how the sliders work, but you can manually control them while you're sliding along them, so that you can tilt them to the left or to the right. You'll need to do that repeatedly so you can make sure Sonic doesn't get steered into anything that would be to his detriment, like the spike bed that I accidentally guided him onto. Sorry about that, Sonic. But they activate reasonably quickly, so you shouldn't be taking all that much time trying to make it through those, narrow corridors consisting of the sliders. I'm not sure what the proper term for them is, but there you go. Okay, so we have a brief return to the Metropolis boss design from Sonic 2. But it functions a bit differently here. Just like before, you can attack the balloons surrounding Badnik, but once the fake Eggman pops out from each of the balloons, they are actually, explosive. And you absolutely do not want to attack them after you pop them, or they will actually hurt you. Speaking of getting hurt, so much for managing 5 consecutive hits in a row for a perfect run. Man, I hate being rusty. But once you nail 5 hits, Eggman throws all caution to the wind and decides to do things his own way. So we're suddenly not fighting the Metropolis boss anymore. Instead, you are going along an automatic section where you must time your movements so you don't run into these explosive balloons. And if you take too long, he will start to throw out balloons of dramatically differing sizes and speeds. Like there's one balloon that's yellow on the underside and that takes up the entire freaking screen, so avoiding it is super difficult. Although it didn't show its face here, but I imagine we'll see it in the, well, I forgot to keep Sonic in motion. But I imagine we'll see it on the Egg Station Zone, which is immediately the next zone after this one, provided, of course, that you've beaten the other 3 stages before you played through Mad Gear. And that is, of course, a boss gauntlet where all the bosses you played so far are reenacted at the Egg Station Zone before you face the actual final boss. And I'm not going to play through the Egg Station Zone just yet, but what I will do is show you a brief cutscene that plays once the Egg Station Zone becomes accessible? Now wait just a minute, that's not the cutscene that's supposed to play. What the world? Usually when I decide to go to the next act after beating, the boss act in Mad Gear, it takes me straight to here. Or do I have to actually pick this day for the cutscene to play? Well, it seems that's not the case. So no cutscene, I guess. Maybe I should have started a new file from the very beginning. But if you're wondering, there really wasn't much to the cutscene that I wanted to show off. What it really was just a glimpse at Sonic catching up with Eggman as he flees towards the Egg Station Zone, which is the final stage in the game. However, for the next video in this series, I decided that I'll showcase the special stages, and then we'll get to the Egg Station Zone, cause I think it would probably be for the better that way, as the special stage video was still getting quite a number of comments before I accidentally deleted my last playthrough. You might recall me mentioning that in some of my previous videos, so I'm going to get that back up quicker before I get to the Egg Station Zone, for the convenience of those still needing guidance on how to beat the special stage in this game, because I know some are still struggling with them, and I do want to help them out. And that is one of the objectives of this channel, of course, helping people make the most of their experience in Sonic games by knowing how to play them better. So yeah, I hope you will join me for my playthrough with special stages, and then the final stage, which is the Egg Station Zone. If I can get the cutscene to play again, I'll include it in the video that is specific to the Egg Station Zone, but if not, then, well, it's no fuss, right? Anyway, that will do it for this video. Hopefully my commentary was way less repetitive than it was in Lost Labyrinth. I really hope so. I think it was, though, now that I'm paying a bit more attention to it, but we'll see, right? So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Mad Gear Zone, which I actually found me mildly more fun than the Lost Labyrinth Zone. Still quite harrowing, but if I had to choose between this and Lost Labyrinth, Mad Gear wins for free all day, any day. I kind of like it. It's not exactly one of my favorites, like, for its close relation to Metropolis. I wouldn't call it a favorite, but I do like it for its third act, so make it that however you will. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I will see you when we continue with playthrough for Sonic 4 Episode 1. If you enjoyed what you saw, your likes and comments, please leave those. I would appreciate them. Input is welcome in any form. And to keep up my content, just hit that sub button and ring that bell so y'all don't miss out on your favorite blue blur announcement. Or one of your favorite blue blurs. I should be modest, like come on. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Until then, peace! Blue blurs for life. Take care and stay warm.